Welcome to Digital Ship webinar on advances in maritime e-learning, where you will get updated about some of the most important developments that we have seen. Our two guest speakers today are Ozgur Alemdag, founder and managing director of Maritime Trainer, and Walter Boone, managing director at ECMT. We're thankful for Maritime Trainer and ECMT for sponsoring this webinar. You will get the chance to ask them questions directly. You can send them via the Q&A box below your screen. And now I'm passing on to Carl Jeffrey, founding editor of Digital Ship, who will tell you more about today's topic and our speakers.
Okay, thank you, Vida. So e-learning has been around for a long time, and there haven't been that many changes over the past 3 decades or so, except the last couple of years. So what we're going to hear about is two very interesting developments in how we're looking at e-learning in new ways. So one direction is the technical advances. So a lot more use of computer animation, virtual reality headsets. We even got computers that can assess the quality of someone's pronunciation of English. And then we've also got advances in the breadth as how we can reach e-learning in much further. So where it used to be just classroom training or just on a PC, we can hear about e-learning tools people can run on their mobile phones, short supplementary courses. They can even use them offline. They can take a test online and upload the results when they get connected and get a certificate if they've passed. So there's some interesting developments. We're going to go to Istanbul first and then to Rotterdam. So from Istanbul, or actually Izmir on the southwest of Turkey, we've got Ozgur Alemdag, who's the founder and managing director of Maritime Trainer. So we've got a competence management system designed to meet TMSA, the contents of CMSA, and also the dry bulk management standard, which comes from RightShip for dry bulks. So MTR has got tools for teaching and evaluating competence of maritime English. That's where you've got a computer that's going to judge your pronunciation using speech recognition. And also got tools with 2D and 3D animations. He's got some training tools for seafarers which use the Oculus Quest 2 virtual reality headset. That costs $400, so perhaps that's cheap enough that people can put on a ship. Ozgur is a former chief officer on tankers and a former training superintendent with Yasa Shipping and Besiktas Shipping, and also he's currently chairman of a crewing agency, Omicron. And secondly, we're going to Rotterdam, where Walter Boone, who's the managing director of ECMT, which is a maritime training company, is going to present his STCW online. So we've got some short, straightforward courses in areas that seafarers might not take in their main training, so supplementary training. So we're looking at crisis management, passenger safety, cybersecurity awareness, hazardous materials, which link to the STCW requirements, which we can use on a mobile phone, and they can do the course offline. Walter is actually a trained medical doctor as well as a certified maritime and offshore doctor, and he originally got into maritime with his another startup company called MedAssist Online. So hopefully that's all going to be very interesting for you. I'd like to welcome Ozgur to give the opening talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. I would like to start sharing my screen.
Yep.
Hi again, Carl and Vida, and dear participants. Many thanks to Digital Ship for inviting us to this webinar. In order to use the time effectively, we have developed small video clips to describe briefly what we are doing, as we have a wide range of services and products. Would like to start with an introduction video, and the other modules and services will follow.
The world is changing faster than ever, and the shipping industry is one of the most important tools that keeps the world alive in conditions like a pandemic. Digitalization is everywhere. The way we do our jobs and the equipment and systems that we use evolve every single day. But what about mankind? Are they capable of catching up to this evolution? Statistics still show that 90% of accidents are due to the human factor. These skill sets that companies are seeking are therefore changing. Not only selecting the right candidates, but orientating them to your culture and company, preparing them for the job and maintaining and improving their psychology. Tracking all this process, analyzing this data and taking necessary actions are fundamental keys of maintaining safety and operational excellence. On the other hand, the regulations for the maritime industry get harder and harder by the day. Your crew needs to follow up with regulations and industry standards and implement them properly in order to be on the safe side. After TMSA standards came into force, now dry BMS is on its way for bulkers. The systems, organizations, and the culture need to be changed. It is obvious that this change should be supported by effective digital systems and proper content. Maritime Trainer was established in 2011 to be your solution partner for selection and development of your crew and allow you to focus on your core business activities, as it is obvious that it's nearly impossible to meet the requirements by traditional methods. We are a global digital learning technology, content, and service provider for the maritime industry. Through our technology and expertise, we help shipping companies on selection and development of their crew in order to increase safety and achieve operational excellence in their daily operations. Over 30,000 seafarers and more than 400 vessels are supported by our comprehensive services that meet your requirements from one service point. Our team consists of young but talented colleagues with more than 70 years collective experience on maritime, training, safety, and software. We know the requirements, follow up the developments, and implement them immediately at our platform. By using our platform, you can fulfill the necessary steps required to set up a proper selection and development system in order to meet TMSA and dry BMS requirements. Our comprehensive and sophisticated solution covers any service and product for ship management companies' training needs in a modular format that is designed to fit specific purposes. Our competency management system is designed to meet any requirements via a lean management interface. It is easy to manage the whole process by the developments we made with the help of our stakeholders' feedback. New user enrollment, assessment, and course enrollments for specific rank, vessel enrollment for offline platform, synchronization, viewing reports, and many other features are developed by our UI/UX designers in order to alleviate your workload and ease your crew system use.
Now, we would like to start telling the steps of our comprehensive service and products from the beginning of the cycle of applications.
Job application and GDPR. Recruitment, follow-up, and management of new job applications is one of the most challenging and time-consuming issues of the Human Resources Department of the maritime companies. Also, there are many additional obligations related to the new General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. MTR has developed an online job application CV module which reduces the time and labor spent on these tasks by receiving the applications online, initially by declaring the policy statement and taking the open consent as required by the GDPR. In addition to this, the applicants are automatically defined to the training platform and competency assessments are assigned according to the rank and type of vessel. By this method, all relevant data is collected with the help of our platform and can be filtered in detail at any time without any additional workload. Applicants can update their data over the online system at any time.
The next step is our assessment tool with various kinds of evaluations.
Assessment module. Selecting the best candidates to meet the challenging nature of operations is the first step to achieve zero accidents and operational excellence. You need to measure both the technical and non-technical skills with reliable tools and supported evidence. Maritime Trainer allows you to use our competency, English, personality, and aptitude tests in order to select the best candidate that fits your expectations. By random photo capturing options, you can also view if the applicant is completing the assessment him or herself. Technical Skills Assessment. The Technical Skills Assessment is developed for every rank and vessel type with various types of questions, including animations from a comprehensive question bank of more than 10,000 questions with a detailed reporting based on categories. Personality Test. In order to measure the soft skills and risk orientation of the crew, we use a personality test that measures the seafarer's skills under 12 KPIs, supported with a detailed report identifying the gaps and benchmarking them against the other applicants. Aptitude Test. Cognitive skills are also vital to select the appropriate candidates for the challenging conditions. The aptitude test allows you to measure the cognitive skills of the crew, create a profile with detailed explanations, and benchmark the individual's report against the average score of the other applicants. Maritime English Test. 50 questions are asked from various maritime-related subjects according to the rank, with different types of questions, including voiced-over ones.
On the bridge, I have to act as a competent lookout during day.
The detailed report allows you to see the level of the candidate in all aspects. Pronunciation Test. Our innovative game-based pronunciation test with voice recognition platform allows you to measure the pronunciation skills of the applicants, which is also linked to our LMS platform.
Autopilot. Freeboard.
Detailed reporting. Our comprehensive reporting page allows you to see the detailed reports of the assessments in order to identify risks and gaps to be filled for a better selection and training needs analysis.
Now you have assessed and interviewed the crew and decided to employ. It's time for orientation.
Orientation module. The first step is to orient your crew to your company, which comprises your history, policy, vision, culture, and codes. It is also vital to give comprehensive training over your safety management system. Therefore, we prepare a specific training module over your SMS with an assessment that every officer needs to complete by reading the manual over the platform. We also allow your crew to reach orientation files prepared at your company through a cloud infrastructure before joining the vessel, which eases the orientation workload of the office personnel. Pre-joining safety and refreshment training is also part of our orientation package, which increases the crew's safety awareness and refreshes their knowledge before every joining period.
Crew will also need to complete necessary CBTs according to the company's matrix before joining in order to be ready for the job.
Interactive training courses. Computer-based training, CBT, when prepared professionally, is an innovative way of training that engages the candidates into training by using the right tools. This training is accessible with mobile devices over our app or from onboard vessels over our offline platform. We have a wide range of training topics that comprise of technical and non-technical skills and which are developed by the latest digital learning technologies and voiced over by native speakers.
Inexperienced persons or those under 18 years of age should not be sent to work aloft or overside.
MTR can also develop specific interactive CBTs on demand for your specific requirements. We can prepare the CBTs in a way that allows the crew to fill a document after having the necessary training, like incident investigation report, garbage or oil record book, or risk assessment form, which is automatically evaluated afterwards. All induction and CBT training have an assessment with photo capturing option and a satisfaction questionnaire. Attendees are awarded with a certificate with a square code after the successful completion of the CBTs. Certificates are granted under our Maritime Training Institute accreditation and can be checked online with the square code in order to increase reliability.
And mental health and VBS trainings are gaining more importance nowadays, and companies need to support and follow the crew's mental condition closely.
Crew mental health and behavior-based safety training. Resilience is how well a person can adapt to the events in their life after facing a tragedy, natural disaster, health concern, or a relationship, work, or social problem. A person with good resilience has the ability to bounce back more quickly. We provide interactive training modules with problem-based learning approaches supported with 2D and 3D animations, which are enriched with real-life scenarios through voice-over CBTs, which are easy to manage during onboard training. For this purpose, we have created various e-learning CBTs covering the learning engagement tools and the resilience modules. We are also providing the whole resilience management package, comprising of methodology training, keeping the necessary training up to date, monitoring them, taking feedback, evaluations, and scheduling training and preparing statistics of the training completed through our LMS platform.
And giving classroom trainings on board and ashore with 3D animated videos are a much more effective way of telling and showing the unseen.
3D training videos. Showing the actual accident with every detail by 3D animation technology is much more effective than narrating the accident through some demonstrations. We provide a wide range of 3D animated videos that you can use for your onboard classroom and individual training. In addition to that, we prepare 3D company-specific learning from videos based on your real-life accidents with reflective learning methodology, which you can use to increase your crew's awareness throughout your fleet.
Your specific presentations, training materials, and videos can easily be converted to CBTs by our experts.
Company-specific CBT, Task Manager, and Questionnaire module. Most of the companies prepare presentations for their specific needs in order to share at the orientation training or company-run seminars. We can easily convert them to CBTs and add assessments for you in order to add them to your company-specific training library and enroll the relevant crew. On the other hand, you can create tasks for the crew for a limited time in order to use it as a micro-learning tool, like giving a circular and asking some questions, giving a mission to check some equipment, and preparing a report or even a scheduled mission for cadets that can be tracked over this platform, which also allows crew to upload documents and give a response. You can also prepare your company-specific survey and send it to the crew with one click. You will have these statistics on your platform after the crew completes the questionnaires.
We also have a wide range of additional services that we provide free of charge to our customers over our platform.
Additional features. Our platform allows you to have monthly health and safety bulletins prepared by our experts and daily maritime news digest. You can add any documents and/or supportive videos into your library for free access of your crew. Implementations like safety observation cards, complaint handling, and near-miss reporting, while showing that confidentiality can be easily managed over our platform by addressing necessary users. Your data is under protection by necessary security measures and daily backups under complete cloud infrastructure.
As an ex-training superintendent, this was the first thing that we have developed in order to manage the planning and monitoring burden.
Training Manager module. One of the most challenging issues that companies face is planning and monitoring the individual and fleet-based training. With the help of our Training Manager module, it is easy to define training, plan them in the necessary time intervals, and monitor them both for onboard and offshore trainings. Offline platform. With the help of our easy-to-use offline system, you can have the same features on board your vessel without any internet connection. The system can be reached over the network of your vessel and can be uploaded on any designated computer. The enrollment of crew and synchronization of data is also made easy over our platform.
Performance evaluation module is prepared according to OSINT BBCM guide in order to define and close the gaps.
Behavior-based competence management. We have also developed a performance evaluation reporting system based on OCIMF's behavioral-based competency management system that allows you to measure your officer's performance through the defined KPIs and identify gaps for improvement. Another module that is in parallel to Intertanko's competence management system is also under development.
You can't improve the process if you can't measure. Here comes the statistics.
Statistics. You can have any kind of statistics through our platform from our comprehensive statistics module. We can even create specific statistics for you over your platform and share the reports with you within defined periods with the help of our robotic process automation.
And new generation loves games, and here comes our web-based simulation.
3D web-based simulation. In order to expand game-based learning for the individuals that cannot reach the VR devices, we also developed computer-based training modules that are designed to follow a set of rules and procedures to complete a critical operation on board. This tool can be used for both assessment and training purposes, and the reports can be reviewed over our LMS platform.
We believe virtual reality is the future simulation technology for industries like maritime, which reduces the costs, improves accessibility and effectiveness of the trainings.
VR-based simulation. With the help of the VR technology, we enable seafarers to experience onboard situations, emergencies, and/or equipment in an immersive way, as close as the real environment. This way, we increase the ability of training adequately skilled seafarers for maritime academies, training centers, or shipping companies. With the help of rapidly developing technology, we are now transferring our games to a more advanced, easy-to-access standalone device like Oculus Quest 2, which will allow maritime stakeholders to be able to use these devices even on board the vessels. We see this new technology as a very important part of the future of maritime training and are investing heavily on this area.
And we complete our services with consultancy.
Consultancy and training. The industry is moving towards a new era with new regulations and industry expectations. In this dynamic world, we are taking part to assist ship management companies on meeting these requirements with system consultancy and training. We are following the industry standards like TMSA and DRIBMS closely in order to help make the shipping companies align with the expectations easily and focus on their core business activities.
And the last but not the least, the new area of improvement of our services to maritime industry is using robotic process automation in order to reach operational excellence, reduce costs, and increase efficiency.
Digitalization. The next generation of shipping leaders are facing a new challenge with the fourth industrial revolution. The digital evolution has been shaping all industries, as well as the maritime industry. The shipping leaders with a clear vision started to digitalize their operations as much as possible in order to operate more efficiently and profitably. Sustainability trends that are shaping the 2000s will put more pressure on the shipping leaders. New environmental regulations will impact most of the shipping industry. The fourth industrial revolution is changing almost every aspect of life. It brings challenges and opportunities. Increase productivity, efficiency and quality in processes, reduce carbon emissions, and insurance costs are just some of them. Robotic process automation, RPA, is set to be one of the key technologies in the sweeping transformation of the economy, society, and the labor market. With RPA, we are helping shipping companies get more efficient, more productive, and better.
Many thanks. The presentation is completed. I hope I kept the time.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Bang on 20 minutes. That's great. So we'll have questions for Ozgur at the end. Maybe I'll just start warming up. I mean, just to understand the obstacles here, and this stuff is so amazing. You think all shipping companies should use this. I know the developments are quite recent, but do you want to share some thoughts, each of you, on what the obstacles are? I mean, is it the companies don't want to spend? Is it that this stuff isn't that adaptable, or they have to adapt it to what the company specifically wants? Or is it the whether it's actually any good in training what people need? I don't know if you'd like to both share your thoughts on what's holding this back, do you think? Do you start with Walter?
Well, I think, you know, one thing is literally the bandwidth of the people in the shipping company, because there's so much going on currently with the pandemic, that we really see that a lot of clients are struggling just with coping with the huge amount of work. At the same point, you know, all the training, they need to pick it up. So there's a kind of struggle, and a lot of them ask us for kind of help. So, you know, what is possible, because they understand and they need to meet certain requirements. Some have been pushed out a little bit by half a year, but it's upcoming. So they need to get back to normal in terms of running your company. But at the same time, there's not many people who can take care of that. So what we see, I would say, is bandwidth in terms of capacity with the shipping industry. And obviously in terms of costs, always a big factor. It's shipping after all. So affordability and ease of use. If they call, sometimes, can you do that tomorrow? And usually the answer is, by the way, yes. But sometimes you have to close some holes and gaps that shouldn't be there, but are. So that would be three things I would mention, Carl.
Wow. Yeah, Ozgur, do you want to thoughts on what's holding us back? Do you think?
Well, let me tell my story. I started giving lectures in university back in 2004, and we saw that what we are doing and the industry has some spaces, has some gaps, because it's a very dynamic industry, and you need to update yourself, even if you are a lecturer. And then I passed to the maritime companies as a training coordinator, and at that time the TMSA came into force. I was a training superintendent of 30 vessels fleet, with tankers and bulkers. And even you have a team of 5 persons at the training academy of the company, you cannot fulfill to give and comply with these all necessary steps like orientation training, assessments, refreshment trainings, occupational trainings. So the idea came to my mind at that time that we need to move online. I investigated the alternatives, and I just presented it to my company, and I said, we need to do the bulk part of the trainings, repetitive ones, assessments over online, and we need to focus on some specific project trainings in order to reduce the accidents and incidents. The story started this way, but it's not only creating e-learning and CBTs and animations. It needs to be supported by a proper system in order to help companies to meet the industry requirements and manage all this process.
Oh, yeah, a structured system. Okay, so if we go to the Q&A box, so the first question, Milis Zuyev, I looked him up on LinkedIn. He's in the Estonian Maritime Administration Information Technology Project Management, unless it's somebody else with the same name. So he's asking, can we make our own courses on your platform? I don't know if that means Ozgur's platform. It could be either of you, I suppose. And what does collaboration look like with maritime admin, which I'm guessing means the maritime administration authorities? So Ozgur, do you want to start with those two?
Yeah, the first one, yes, it's possible to put your own presentations and create your own questions, but generally what we do, we generally give B2B service. So we take and collect all these presentations from the company, and we convert them to CBTs with their questions, with some additional documents and videos we can add also. It's free to do it over the platform. And the other one, collaboration with the Maritime Administration. Now in Turkey, it's not allowed to give that mandatory STCW courses online, but we are working on it. Now our courses are ready for application to the different administrations, and we will work on it.
Well, Walter, do you want to answer these? Do you work with maritime administrations on your courses, and can people make their own courses?
Yes, it's the sunny side of my my life, I might say. Obviously, that's what we do because it's important. Both they are in the industry, but especially for the mandatory courses, it's very important that the seafarer gets a certificate that holds value that he or she can use when they go out. So yes, we do work with them. And also on our platform, companies can for free add their own content. So if they have a course and it works well and they want to edit, that's fine. If they like that, we can also kind of accommodate, improve it on it. But that's not our core activity. But if they have course and they're happy with it, it's no problem to add them for free.
Oh, very good. Okay, so Kim Rowan Cabogon, I think, is assistant training manager at Epic Gas in the Philippines. So I think this is for Ozgurs. He's asking about virtual reality courses. Can you customize it to ship type? I'm guessing you can.
Yeah, sure, we can. We can develop any kind of specific training that company requires, and we can also differentiate the type of the vessels, the operation, the equipment, whatever they want.
Okay, so Vishal Gupta is with Fleet Ship Management. I can see from his email address. Oh, I can see on a LinkedIn, General Manager Technical to Japanese dry bulk ships. So where will you conduct the training for the sea crew, especially the VR training? So you mentioned doing it on board the ship, I think so. Yeah.
Well, initially, these devices were with a comprehensive and developed computer, which costs a lot, together with the cables and the sensors. So it was not possible to do it on board. But now with the Oculus Guest Key that we have demonstrated through our video, it's a standalone device. You can buy it to $400. So it's really very cheap. And you can just download the game online and you can play it in the offline environment. And the results also can be sent to our learning management system. So even in the company or on the vessel or in a training academy, you can form groups, you can send one and train your crew even on board.
Wow. So Patrick Hartigan, I think, is a chartered engineer in satellite communications. Is there a barrier of IMO acceptance of e-learning? Do you think there'll be greater acceptance of non-classroom training for the mandatory SCTW courses? Should we go to Walter for that one? I think there's...
Yeah, there's the mandatory SCW courses. I would say there's two sorts of them. One that's every 5 years they refresh or that's most relevant, but they usually now include also, fire extinguishing and the lifeboat drills and all. I think, yes, we are moving in that direction, but I don't think it's the IMO necessarily. They just set the standards. It is the model course, but basically it's the authorities that need to make sure that these requirements are met. And one thing is, as I mentioned, the hybrid courses. So you can do the classroom part already in quite a few countries online. So I think that's not a problem. But I do think that over the next couple of years, not tomorrow, if you think about it, all the equipment that you use in the training aboard a ship after all, right? So if you would use, for example, the solutions as also Ozgur mentioned, but there's many more options that you can use: augmented reality, virtual reality, our solution. I would say you will move to a situation that you will be able to prove and show that you have the same skills. For many of the SCW courses, learning to swim, at some point you might need to get wet. It'll take some time for the last part. So it's not a black and white answer, but in general, I would say, yes, it's certainly going towards that way, but I don't think it's so much up to the IMO. It would take a huge amount of time, but more to the member states to see if that works well. That would be my guess.
Well, that's great. Well, there's no more questions at the moment, but I'd like to ask both of you about this domain expertise side, because you're both domain experts outside this world. So Ozgur runs your own crewing agency and Walter's at Natural Tankers, an actual doctor. Because this is a totally separate skill set to the digital skill set, isn't it? Actually making sure this training teaches people what they need to know. I don't know if you'd like to share any thoughts about how this domain expertise fits in and how you make sure that you actually are training people in useful things, not just showing them nice digital things to play with. Start with Walter.
Okay, yeah, well, that's yes. If you try to help people with a medical problem, you know, if we always talk about the knock on the door if you're 1,000 miles out, that's a big challenge for a ship's officer. Actually, for many, it's one of their worst dreams, to be honest. And we also know it's one that's going to happen. It's not a, you know, a strange exception as running your ship aground in the Suez Canal might be, even if it gets some attention. But there is just in Europe is 20,000 calls every year with medical problems. So it's something that I would say every ship's officer and captain sooner or later might have to deal with, maybe more often. And as a doctor, if you try to help, you in the end, you depend on the guy or the gal who is on the other end. And they have had some training, yeah, maybe a few years ago, and then it's the real thing. And that's really when you start thinking, how can we help that person? You talk about instant learning. You talk about, like, you know, in the Live app, how can we really support that? So for us, basically, it's about learning. Sometimes it's instant learning. It's really helping out and making the ship safer. So yes, it's a different set of skills to be a doctor. But for a doctor to help out in medical situations and problems out at sea, it's a different story. And, you know, I also am attached to the radio medical service here. So I know that, you know, people, it actually was the seafarers who asked us for help. They say, you have a great book, great training, but is there not an app? Well, I thought maybe, so we started looking and we ended up, as you know, building them. So, you know, it's not that different actually for a doctor to help out at sea. It's about learning and making the other people that need help provide that help. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, Ozgur, do you have any thoughts on how you bring in your domain expertise into the development of the training?
Well, indeed, I started my sea career early in 1999, and then I passed to the university as a lecturer. And while I started lecturing, it was a great fun for me, and I really liked being with young people and touching to their life, adding some on their skills and knowledge. So when I passed to the training superintendent, as a training superintendent to shipping company, I saw that there are a lot to do in this area. Sure, I am not a digital and IT guy, but it's a teamwork. Now the good thing is the half of my team is coming from the same school that I know from their student times while I was lecturing, and I was that time dreaming to make some business with them in the future. This is really fantastic to have a team of these experts. Both have a maritime experience and developed their skills in the training and software area. So my core team is consisting of these guys. Sure, we have added some software guys and some training designers and some 3D animators, but it's a teamwork. Anyhow, you know the industry, you follow up the regulations and you know what is needful. Sure, you need to follow up all the technological developments and you need to motivate your team in this target by following all your competitors and the industry. This is what we are doing and really enjoy. We enjoy what we are doing at the moment.
Okay, so there's a last question here from Marco. I'll probably need to explain this. So we've done webinars with Marco on working with maintenance data from equipment suppliers. And I noticed we had some equipment suppliers on the call at the moment. So I guess they're interested in how can equipment supplier data be incorporated into training? So say you had a ballast water supplier wanted to make training just for their ballast water equipment, but also using their engineering models to build the training with. So you'd have to use standard data systems. I don't know if that's something you've looked at all, working with equipment suppliers. Have you? I think that's for Ozgur, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, well, especially for some specific equipments that we need to develop the VR trainings, we do work with the engineers, the designers and the company. We do require the drawings and the working principles of the equipment. And then we design, they control, we design, they control. The process goes like this.
Oh, that sounds great. So very quickly, answer to Vishal Gupta's question, how much, I don't know if you want to mention, people often don't want to say costs in public, so if you'd rather not answer, feel free, but he's asking how much would a course cost for an onboard VR training? Do you want to answer that one on public? Or he's already given you his email address if you want to send a private answer, I think so. Yeah, sure. We can give a detailed answer in written format, but it depends on the details of the training, duration of the training, the scenario of the training. We can give a detailed answer over email. Wow, that sounds lovely. Okay, well, we've managed to finish at the end of the hour, so I'd like to thank both of you and bring back Vida for the closing words. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh. Okay. You're on mute, Vida.
Sorry, yeah. Thank you, Carl. So summing up, all of you today, you heard some new and innovative e-learning services that Maritime trainer from Izmir and the ECMT Training Center in Rotterdam has developed. Also, some of their views on e-learning trends in general. Just an update, next week, Digital Ship is jumping to vessel performance theme again, and we'll be learning about case studies from 3 shipping companies, Dorian LPG, BSM, and Columbia Ship Management. Please be free to sign up. Digital Ship is signing off now until next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.